All right, Mariners, Architects, this is a formal introduction video to framing a scale modeled home. We're going to divide 18 walls that you see here uh, into the class and split up drawing and construction of the walls, and then we'll put the whole thing together as a group. Uh, this is going to give everybody mostly a chance to orient themselves with CAD while learning the terminology and parts of the walls and home on the inside, the skeletal parts. And we're going to build this thing up to the ceiling trusses. I'm sorry, ceiling joists, which are the horizontal laying across the ceiling. We're not going to put the actual roof on this, but we'll go up to the ceiling joists with the plan, and I'll show you how it's done. So here I have the basics of it. You're going to start off with a 21 and a half by 16 and a half inch page border to draw whatever designs we're laying out, because this is going to become our printable size. Uh, this is what I'm looking at having you guys complete based on, let's get back to, based on this drawing here. We're going to start off with it's single wall 1B here to make sure everybody is comfortable with putting in all of these components, which looks overwhelming, but there's a couple of little tricks that make it not so daunting to take care of this. What you're going to have is a scale spacing. Every uh, stud vertical part of this wall is going to be an 1/8 inch wide, but then an inch apart, which represents 16 inches in reality. This is a 3/4 inch scale. 3/4 of an inch on this paper works out to be mathematically a foot in reality. I'm not trying to get too deep into that part yet, but more so that what you're going to do is start off with a known length in inches here. Um, we're going to say 20. This is just under 20 inches long. Um, so what I'm going to tell you to do at the beginning of this is draw in the length of the wall, and then for however many inches you have here, you're going to put a stud every inch throughout the entirety of this, and then we'll fill in the rest of everything. That's going to be the general process here. So I'm going to go to the bottom corner of this page and get started with it so everybody can see that in person here. So you're going to go horizontally. In this case, it's a 19. So it's 19 inches. Type in the minus symbol, and then 11 sixteenths. And we're going to round that up to 20 when we put our studs in. So that's going to be the sole plate, which is the bottom of any wall is called the sole plate. And actually what we'll do is we'll do an offset. All of the 2x4 lumber that's being laid out here is going to be an 1/8 inch wide on paper. So 1/8 like that. So that's just going to end up being the sole plate. We'll close off all the ends later. All right, now for the studs, you're going to start off with a 5.5 inch vertical line right on the end point here. Even if there isn't one in the drawing, I still want you to put one in. So it's going to be 5.5, enter, escape. So you've got your first stud line there. And then we're going to do an offset line. You have to click this 1, 2, 3 times before the offset starts. And then type in 1/8 here. And so you have your first stud. And we're going to use as a copy array to make 20 of these going across total. And that's going to look like this. You click on one side. Whoop, I have to escape, make sure I have nothing selected. I have my crosshair here. Click on one side of the studs, click on the other side of the studs to highlight them. Click copy. The easiest way to do this is click the bottom corner here of this. So now you have a copy. You want 20 of these, and then hit enter. Whoop, I messed up. Click copy, click on a point, and then you got to click on array down here. And then you type in the number 20, enter. Put it in line where you want it to go, and then type in an inch, or just type in 1 and then enter. And that'll space them all an inch from one to the next. Hit escape to finish that patterning, or that array pattern. So what you've got is from the beginning of one to the beginning of the next is an inch. In reality, studs are spaced every 16 inches this way. And when you lay out a wall, you plan it out looking at it like this, where you have all the studs, and then you're going to piece in the rest of the components. So my next step here is I have a specific measurement that you're going to have to put in. We're going to put in this header. Just show you the picture of it. What we're looking at is putting in the first line of this header for this doorway. So all of the headers are 5 inches. It's 5 inches up from the bottom of the sole plate. So it's actually going to be 4 7/8 of an inch up from this corner where I'm going to start drawing to get this line. And it starts off on the inside of the second stud here, and then it crosses through 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it goes into the fifth stud. So watch this. What does that look like here? You're going to go, again, it's, just double check my, you're going to go to the inside of, actually, we're going to count 3 studs in, go to the inside of the third stud, the way this looks. Go from the end point here, start traveling, and click the line tool, and you're going to hover over the end point, start going vertically, and type in 4-7/8, which gives us a total of 5 inches from the bottom of the sole plate, is what I just did. And then you're crossing through 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're going into the fifth, and then hit escape. So that lays out the header position for this first doorway. And what I want you to do is offset this, click this 3 times, go up, and this is 3/8 for your headers. Okay, so what do you do from here? You erase, you trim and erase the interior parts. That's how you're going to lay out your builds. All right, so again, back to the image here. Just make sure you can see this as a reference here. I just put in the header. I cut away all of the studs that don't need to be there. And now we have to put in trimmers. So the trimmer is what's going to hold up the header. So you have underneath in framing 2x4s that run underneath a thicker part to stop this opening from buckling or sagging. All right, so we offset this line 3/8 of an inch. We're going to put in now the trimmers, and then these go from standard studs to becoming called, you can see king studs in here. Anything that runs alongside of an opening, whether it's a window or a doorway, the outside stud alongside either one is called a king, and then you have a trimmer that goes next to the king. So this is what we're going to do. Put those in. And you go to a line, and go to this endpoint and start tracking to the right, and then type in 1/8, enter, and that's going to start us off 1/8 of an inch over, and then we just go up to the endpoint, hit escape. And we're going to do the same thing over here, going backwards. And click the line tool, hover over the endpoint, start going backwards, 1/8, enter. Starts off 1/8 inch over. I'm pressing my mouse wheel down here to slide this, pan this down, click escape. So you have your trimmers now. You have these become called kings. This is your header, and these are called cripples. We could also close in the top cap here at this point. We can put in the top plate, it's called. You have a sole plate and a top plate. You can start a line here going straight to the right. Type in 19 and 11/16. Yeah, 19-11/16. Hit the escape key. And we're going to offset that 1/8 of an inch. 1/8. All right, next. We're going to count over just one stud, And then we're putting in this window frame. So you have a window sill and a little header over that. What does it give us for measurements? What's going to happen in cases like this is we're going to have these prints lying around the room. I have these on boards mounted. You're going to take measurements in some cases off of these to figure it out. I have to actually take the physical measurement right now off. Okay, so it's 3 5/8 uh, up to here. So I'm just going to show you how it works. We're going to go here. We're just going to the inside of them. I'm going to create a space in between the studs, and then actually, I'm just putting in my sill, so I have to go up 3-5/8. And this one, it's got a different measurement. We're just going to put this in here for right now. All right, the sill is going to be offset like this. Why didn't it work? Here, 1/8. Trim away this. This offset right here. Bear with me. Click this, and we're going to go 1 1/8. 1-1/8. And then this header is going to be a little bit different. This is going to be an offset of 1/4 inch. Click, click, click. Offset this way 1/4. Enter. And then you can trim here and here. Okay. Now this is actually set up. It's a little bit different. We're going to do an offset here on this one. Just offset to the left. Type in 1/8. You know what? We'll leave it like that. It's going to be a little bit out, but that's okay. I'm going to trim away this, this, and that's going to stay that way. Do the same thing on the opposite side. Offset an inch, I'm sorry, 1/8 of an inch this way, 1/8. And then we'll trim out this, this. So in a case like this, that was the easiest way to get the headers and everything in. Then we're going to skip. Next window is going to come in here. So that measurement, again, I'm taking this off the paper, like you will have to at some point. 2.5. So it's going to be 2.5 inches up for the next sill plate. So we're just going to count 2 studs over, go to the right side of it, 2.5, enter, and then this is going to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, and then hit the 5th, like that. Big wide window. All right, now this is going to get offset 1/8 of an inch. 1/8, enter. Then we're going to offset 2 1/4 to, we could just do 2.25, 1.25. And offset this is going to be 3/8. This is a bigger window opening, so it's got to be bigger by regulation, 3/8. So it's going to have more like the doorway size opening here. And then we're going to cut away this, zoom in, trim those. And these. And then we're going to do offsets here, 1/8 of an inch, just like we did with the last opening. Trim this and this. Other side. /8. Trim here and here. And that's really not too terrible, is it? What we're going to end up having is a couple of spacers going in here for additional blocking, to put walls perpendicular here. What I'm saying is these, there's going to be a secondary, I don't have the measurements on this stuff, I'm going to figure that out real quick. 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so this isn't too hard. What we'll do is just, there's a second set of, we're just going to offset this. Watch. Offset the stud, there's 1/8 of an inch off. /8 going this way. And then there's going to be another one. You go 1/4 of an inch, 1/4, and then 1/8 inch off of here for another stud, 1/8. All right, and then in here, keep track of this wider gap. I'm going to start down here in the bottom corner, go up 3/8 of an inch, 3/8, and hit enter, and then draw a horizontal line. And then this one's going to get offset 1 inch at a time here. Watch. Okay. What? Offset's a little tricky. You got to zoom in enough for this to. There you go. One. Offset it again, 1 inch. Again, 1 inch. One more time. Oop, 2 more times, sorry. So these get hatch patterned. Just use this third one in, and you want to pattern in this, this, and this. And this is where a wall would come in to meet, another wall would come out 90 degrees from these points. So there's a wall there, and then there's another one of these. I'm going to hit the escape key. So to place the next one, we're going to offset. Let's see, double check this. Yeah, we're going to offset this stud line. Click it 3 times, go to the right, 3/8 of an inch, 3/8, and then we're going to offset this 1/8 of an inch, 1/8, to put another stud in. And then we're repeating the same thing here. Something doesn't seem right. Oop, I'm between the wrong lines. Here's an inch. Yeah, that's right. Um, Something isn't right. These aren't supposed to be here. That's what this is. This is supposed to be offset this way, 1/4 of an inch, and then an offset line here, 1/8 of an inch, 1/8. Okay, and then the next wall is going to come in here. So zoom in here, 3/8, 3/8, going upwards. Hit enter and draw a horizontal line. You're going to offset again, just like we did over here, 1 inch at a time. There we go. One. We'll hatch pattern this in. I put those in the wrong spot. I'm going to trim these out. Sorry about that. These have to go. It's easy to lose track. These are supposed to go in here. Go up 3/8. Complete it. All set. There we go. And then hatch pattern this one in the same way. So there's a slight modification in here that I'd be able to figure out and fix, but overall that's the flow. It seems like a lot to put in this stuff, but it's not too hard. And then these pieces, these fire blocks, let's see, where's the, 2x4 inch fire blocks. These have to be about midway up in any wall. You don't even need to really place those on the drawing. We can do that like later, but what you have is a staggered set for nailing purposes. These have to just get staggered so they can be nailed into place. But these, if there's any fire in a wall, they'll slow the process of burn dramatically, or if not, it to put the fire out entirely if there's a fire in a wall because of electrical or something. So fire blocks are always coated in, but this is the wall complete without fire blocks. Last thing is to make sure, in my case with my students seeing this, make sure that you're saving it locally and then doing a save as, and then finding your student ID and saving this into your U drive. Ranch walls is a sheet one. Make sure you have this saved, whatever progress you've made. And that's that. Again, I'm going to break everybody up into groups. So we have 18 walls to split up. This is wall this is the first two. There's still 16 walls remaining. I'm going to have everybody build them, make sure that these are right. We'll print them up and then actually frame the walls on top of the prints so you can get some reinforcement as to how the framing process works. It's going to be fun. Talk to you guys soon.